Hello, if you're new to the channel, we have a lot of Mustangs. Today we're going to be working on them some more, and special surprise came for the Sonic.
Oh, I tell you, this never ends. It's supposed to be family game night with my wife and other son tonight, but that's okay. For the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, I've noticed a clunk on Riley's car when he starts, stops.
Just kind of, like, it's pretty choppy in first gear where it'll like shake a lot, and that's kind of when you hear a bit of a clunking. And I thought it was the fuel filter knocking against the frame rail for a bit.
With the race coming up, I wanted to make sure it wasn't a tie rod end on any of the upper lower control arms or a U-joint. But upon further review, it looks like our spider gears are beyond done, so we don't want to race on used up spider gears. So today is Monday. We just autoed a set, should be here for Thursday because we need to race Saturday. So still got lots of time. And while I'm pulling the center section out, or carrier, whatever you want to call it, Riley's going to be hooking up his, I think we mentioned it the other day maybe.
After blowing the tires off over and over, got a mini 2-stage nitrous controller. So working on hooking this up. So I'll probably launch with, like, I can only go up to 125 shot is what I have for jets, and I'll probably launch with, try a 50 shot first, then ramp it in right away. Just
that gives them more of a chance than, because before we were just playing with timing, pulling timing out down low. So
yeah,
this is the way to do it.
So got the software so I can play with the curve, give it as much as I can without it spinning. So
More control.
yeah.
Can you tell? It's almost winter, guys. It gets dark here so early. But gonna get oh. Gonna get this thing out of its hole, and we got to confirm boost, because actually something you don't know is yesterday I changed the wastegate springs again. In the last video we just saw what happened when I put all the springs in, which was 20 pounds ish, 21 maybe. Not good. So I took one spring out, hoping for like 15, 14, 17 on the high side. We'll see what happens. Only one way to find out. Even though I haven't replaced the cam sensor yet, I've been getting lucky, so let's see. Oh yeah. Look at that perfect idling, running, amazingly tuned LS section as it stalls. Let this warm up and take her for a rip. So I already had a peek, and we did good. So the green, where the cursor is down there, that's the throttle. So you can see I'm just right before I've completely went full throttle. The red is the RPM in the top, along with the injector duty cycle, and then the purple is the map sensor, the boost, basically. So I timed it. It was 2 seconds from when I'm at it till it makes all the boost, which, well, just a tiny bit more. It basically levels out at 195 kPa, I saw in another section. I mean, we're only at 5,500 RPM there, so gets to a peak of about 195 kPa, 196. It varies a little bit, but I was, you know, off the throttle at 5,500 RPM or so, as you saw there. So the air fuel Looked really good. This is the reverse of the pass. So I mean, we're in the high 11s. I do know that this output reads a bit leaner than the gauge. So, you know, it's probably in between somewhere. It's at like maybe 11.5. Before it made all the boost, kind of closer to when I got into the throttle. It was in that area, but I mean, again, that's fine. Yeah. So, I mean, once again, HP tuners, it's like Holly. This tunes itself. I don't know how I do it. I don't. It's the software or something. Also, the spark is at about 14 degrees, just a little lower. And the intake air temps by this bug here, we're around 122. I didn't turn the intercooler on, which, oops. But it is what it is.
Pull it tank where? Back out? Yeah.
How's the nitrous thing?
I don't know. He just asked me to tug his wire.
That's always a good sign.
I tugged his wire. Got the carrier out.
You smell like it.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't mind the smell of diff fluid.
Well, yeah, I don't really either. It's fun to say. It's one of those things. I found out it's running. It's making 14 PSI now. So
Right
it's,
on the money?
Yeah, it's perfect.
14?
Yeah. Violent, no. I just rolled in, well, got to a certain RPM and floored it in second. And it didn't spin like much, if any. Just kind of went. And it feels fast. Like, I'm curious, like, obviously it'd be in the 10s. I don't know if it'd get into the 9s, but felt good. And yeah, the air fuel was good, spark was good, everything's. So I guess that'll be the pump gas too, in like 14 degrees.
14.
I only got to like 5,500 RPM though. I didn't.
You gotta look at Matt's boost.
Stay in it. Wow, that's what he says, isn't it? 14 pounds, 14 degrees. I'm a raccoon, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Pump gas. That's a thing.
It sounded pretty good. I could hear you coming back.
Yeah?
Loud. I
Yeah.
don't know how far away you were, but...
Oh, Mr. Bullhorn. Have to take Clayton for a ride still, one of these days. So I put the Sonicstang back in its stable. Just gonna do the steering wheel now, which I teased at the beginning of the video.
Japanese?
No, it's from Italy. Max Pappas Innovations, MPI. Which famous YouTuber's steering wheel did I buy? That is the question.
Max Pappas, didn't he used to run IndyCar?
Yeah, no, he's a racer. I think he even did some NASCAR. You said you need parts now.
I need parts. So the spider gears will be here Thursday. Today's Monday. These are caliper, abutment brackets.
Yeah, there
brackets.
you
go. Just brake brackets, but this is a kit he got from LMR, and I'm gonna take these to work and I'm gonna EDM this surface because it's not quite planar to the rear end surface where it bolts to, and we have to shim it up to get the caliper to sit square to the rotor. So when I took it apart, my shims fell out on the ground, so I'm gonna fix these up so they're nice and square, so we don't need the shims no more. And other than that, just gotta wait for parts. The shit horse is ready to go. We gotta switch tires on that in the back. Turn the shift light up. We should really make a log file.
Oh yeah, no, we have to look at the tune, especially since fuel pressure might have changed.
So me and Riley, we detoured to Mexico last night after cruise night, and we had a couple goes from a roll. I think we were doing about 80 kilometers an hour, and you dropped it down to second. I kept it in third, and I pulled him. He was obviously on motor, no nitrous.
Yeah.
And then we did another roll from about 40 kilometers an hour, and I gaped him again. And then we came to a complete stop, and the shit horse just lit him up, and Riley schooled me a little bit there, but I'm looking forward to racing him in the shit horse this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Lots of racing.
Mm-hmm.
Should be a good
Shit
time.
horse versus Riley. Shit horse versus Christian and the Acadian. Shit horse versus the world.
Sonicstang.
Street weapon. Oh, and the Sonicstang? Yeah. Well, I think you're...
We can run the same amount of boost. You got a bigger engine.
yeah, but you're pretty racy. You got coilovers and
Wow.
Sonic blue paint,
Who needs all that?
roll bar, fancy stuff.
So what we've got here is the Fun Haver Vaughn Gittin Jr. blue design steering wheel. So this isn't the one he uses in his car, but it is similar and kind of different. Comes with this as well. I was curious if it would, because you know lots of them don't. You got to pay extra for this whole centerpiece, but this one did. It's super light, definitely. Authentic product of the MPI and the made in Italy and all that goodness. Quality in general looks good. I'm happy with it. It was $2.99 US. I got a hoodie as well, and it cost me like $750 to get it here with shipping and duty and exchange. So yay to being Canadian. And now I'm going to see if this will fit with this hub. This is the old wheel here. I almost don't want to touch them to each other because dirtiness, but just to see. It's a little bit bigger. It's only supposed to be, works out to be, I think, like an inch bigger, but hopefully this hub will fit. It has a lot more of a, whatever you call that, dish or hub offset. I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway, I'm gonna try to take this off there and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay, well, that's not gonna work. Different number of bolts, but we'll begin the figuring of how it's going to work. The top hole does line up, and where the other holes are in the wheel don't interfere with where those holes are. So we'll be able to drill this.
Ignore the mess.
The old noodle scratcher when you're trying to figure out all this bullshit with a new electronic unit.
Weird ramp how?
Re-rep.
How is it?
Well, it doesn't sound like it's ramping up.
It's just a linear curve up? Or do you have a...
It comes up in 2 seconds, I think it is, but I don't know. Something
1,000, 2, 1,000.
And then it's full.
Then it's full.
Because I guess solenoids are just open once they're... So
Once it stops clicking, they're open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's working.
That's good. Then you just gotta clean that up.
Clean it up and fix the diff.
Fix the diff.
What's the diff?
And it's only Monday. What else we gotta do? We build a whole other car.
Got a 180-degree thermostat to put in.
Yeah, there you go.
Because, I don't know, we bought a 180, but still works like a 195, so thinking it might be labeled wrong or something.
It was, I mean, it's even stamped 180 degree, but it's definitely at 195. Which is
Weird.
a little too warm.
Engine's finally clean from car show too.
Yeah, I guess.
Cleanest
Yeah, it
it's
does
ever
look
been.
good.
Well, new is when it was the cleanest.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of miles so far.
Miles and smiles.
Yeah. I'm just lining this up for the last half hour. And now it's lined up, so
Yeah, you don't even need to center punch it because just find the right size drill and it'll self-center. You know what I mean?
yeah. That's gotta be careful.
Well, yeah.
Well, there you have it, guys. All ready to go in the car. I think I'm gonna grab a light and we'll go out there and install it. I don't know about you. I think it looks pretty sick. The steering wheel button. It's nice. Whole setup is nice. Aluminum, obviously. Big fan. I have to see how it fits in the car, but I'm thinking being a little closer to me is gonna feel better. And a little bit of size. First of all, since we're out here, just the color comparison. Because, you know, gotta coordinate. I didn't buy this just for any old reason. Looks pretty good with the Sonic Blue. I figure I'll bring a bit of that in the interior. It's kind of the idea. And I mean, who doesn't like zebras and Vaughn Gittin Jr.? I should mention too that the other steering wheel I wasn't a fan of since I got the car. Dang. It's very different, but already I can tell it feels... It's, you know, just at a nicer distance to me. You know, how you want your arm to kind of rest. And also the size. The other one felt... It made the car feel like a go-kart. Really, to be honest. And it's only an inch, but you know what they say. So, it's late, and I'm glad we got that done. Look at this. I mean, the rest of the interior in here is pretty black. This shitty switch panel is going to be black. No offense to paintless. I just, you know, it's pretty race car-y, so that's going to be black, so it's less noticeable. And this hole and all these gauges will be gone. Kind of fancy, but also it wasn't, you know, as far as buying steering wheels, too expensive, so. Right on. Feels great. See what this thing does with 14 PSI track. And until next time, guys, we will check you later.
They're made with an insulating material which really preserves the fern and the dock and the whatever, and I don't know, shit. The Sunflower now enjoys a full 5 inches. Among the questions that you may be asked is, can I get this rig in and out of my driveway? Well, the answer is, fuck! Get out of here, you goddamn jackass!